Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm GhostPrime, and I'll take a look at the newly released Transmetal II Megatron from the Legacy line. He's a leader class figure, and it should be appearing in stores now. He is actually available online. So this guy is the Transmetal II version. They have not done a Transmetal version yet, which I really hope they do. Maybe they're waiting for Chrome. Fingers crossed, doubt it though. Anyhow, this guy has no Chrome. But in case you're not familiar with Beast Wars, how did the dinosaur Megatron become the dragon Megatron? Well, in I think the third season of Beast Wars, the Maximals and Predacons found the Ark and from the original Transformers, and Optimus Prime and Megatron were both on the Ark. So what he did, there's a lot more to it, but so what Megatron did was try to merge his spark with the original Megatron. He ended up getting knocked into lava, and he emerged from the lava as a dragon. So he's technically a merger of the original Generation 1 Megatron and Beast Wars Megatron in one character. Please remember to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and comment. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. And first we'll start off with his box as we normally do. He has some just beautiful artwork on the box. I really do like this artwork, as they're all been pretty good. Both modes on the front. Close up of his face on the side with the face of the dragon. As I throw it around, here's the other side. On the back, we have both modes and his weapon, 33 steps, QR code, which shows this. And inside the box, he does come packaged in robot mode, and you have this translucent blast effect, essentially, this fire effect, which isn't exactly a blast effect, but it's really cool. It's not rubber. It is hard plastic, which is cool. It's not a rubbery piece at all. Instructions as it should. This kind of weird. I don't like that. Doesn't make sense to me. Then we have the figure, and I'm gonna say right off the bat, he's impressive looking. He's not very small. I'm gonna try and move that camera up a little bit. He's actually not very small. He's a very good looking figure. I do say of course it's not perfect. But I love the wings. I love all the ball joints in here. There's a lot that actually is good about this figure. Now, it is far from perfect. All right, moving in real close to this head sculpt. Now, it's not in itself a bad head sculpt. It looks good. It's trying to invoke the original toy, which is kind of a shame because I would love to have seen the actual show accurate head on there instead of this one. It doesn't look bad though. It definitely fits the motif of the dragon. And one thing, see if I could, there we go. That is actually light piping, which is excellent light piping. This is where the missile would be in the original one. So of course there's no missile there, but look at that light piping, really good. He does have the clear shroud here over his face. You cannot lift it up, but I think this thing's actually painted pretty well. I think this is one they actually spent a lot of love on. As long as I don't knock him over. He does stand pretty well. His weapon was down there. So anyway, let's move on down. See some of the chests here. The chest looks fantastic. And the pictures, I didn't realize that these here actually become the hands. I think that's really cool to do. There's the eye. They got a lot of purple paint on them. And some of the gold painted, like little spikes there. They go down to the crotch area. That's all just plastic color. And the legs. You have right there. I did notice. Oh, maybe it's supposed to be like that. One wasn't painted, but maybe that's supposed to be like that. And then his ginormous feet. Also, turning him back around, you can see there's paint all back here and on the wings. That's that purple. So he's painted and decoed pretty well. He has a really nice deco on him. So for his weapon can fit in his hand like that, which gives him flame coming out of his fist for reasons. Alternatively, you could stick it here in the dragon's mouth and have it flame shooting out of the dragon's mouth. Very cool. Now I'm going to get into comparison real quick before I do articulation and transformation. Now let's bring in the original Transmetal Megatron, so you kind of get a good look at both of these two together. So you can see a lot of the details come through. You have the ball here. This has a little chair in it. More on that later. I might do a review on this by himself. You know, you see a lot of the colors, more from the cartoon rather than this. But it does take a couple things from it. You got the orange canopy over the head right there, and the growl with this kind of a approximation of this face, even though it's done in silver instead of black. A little missile here. It's really good. The one thing it does lack is any type of chrome whatsoever. There's absolutely no chrome. This has a really nice proportion in comparison to the original. Now the original is beloved by a lot of people. There's a lot of really cool gimmicks with the original. This one lacks a lot of those, really all of those gimmicks. It doesn't even have a third mode like this one does. This one has a sort of rolling dragon mode where this one doesn't. I don't think that's needed personally. I think it's fine. That's my opinion on it. I think it looks okay. But I think that they did a really good job overall on this guy. You can see the back. They actually share similarities with this, the head, and you know, I mean, it does share a lot. You get the wings on this one that do fan out. These ones fan out as well. These ones are on a mechanism, so you could do it with a little, like a little lever behind here. This one does not have anything like that. Just one of those gimmicks. No missiles flying around. Nothing like that. That's how those two look together. So you can see it is about the same size. Now this did run at $50, where this one I think was $30. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Back in the day. Oh, and here, look. One horn, no horn. Right there. Didn't even notice that. There's a lot of detail in this guy. Very cool. And here he is with the first version of him. So you can see he's actually a little taller, both the same class. So he's pretty tall. I'm not sure about the weight, but he's pretty tall. I like the good amount of height on him. All right, so articulation wise. Now, the head is limited due to the tail, but you could kind of move it and you can get some movement out of the head left and right, about that far. It doesn't go very far, but that's intentional. His arm, well, let's do his wings first. So his wings have this hinge in the back there, and each one of these is individually articulatable. Is that a word? You go like that. You just fan those all out. Put them all together. That goes about like that before it just kind of fans itself out. So you kind of go like that. These are very cool. This plastic isn't like a rigid, super rigid plastic, but it's not like rubber either. And you can see, kind of see through it a little bit. You can see my hand behind it. It's a nice plastic. It's not, doesn't feel super thin. Even like these bits are actually really like harder plastic, rather like the originals were rubber. I think that was good. I like the lack of rubber pieces on this guy. So let's go to his shoulder. It's going to go all the way around 360 degrees. Come up about that far. Now, I actually could go much, much further than that. I mean, so here's what. Each one of these is a ball joint all the way up into here. And you can see that in there. Even the head is on a ball joint. There's another hinge joint right here. And then his mouth opens. So these could go almost 360. They do kind of hit and get in the way a little bit. They're very tight. But you can kind of get a good kind of turn like that out of it. It goes up. You could twist them a little bit. Each one of them go like that. There's a lot of range of motion you could really get out of this arm, which as it should be. But as you notice, I'm kind of hitting these chest pieces are kind of coming off. They don't tab in very well. That's a shame. This arm, out to that. Shoulder, again, all the way around. Forgot to say the other one, they are ratcheted. He does have a bicep swivel. It is hollowness right there. But it's not too bad because it's filled in with this piece. He has a double jointed elbow. No wrist articulation because of transformation. Well, if you want to, I guess you could do that, but that's transformation. He does have a ratcheting waist, so he could go 360. His leg go out pretty far. And he does have, it's above the knee, which is okay. I do prefer a little higher, a little bit of hollowness there. But, you know, I guess that is what it is. The knee, let's see, the knee could go like that. It's got a really good bend. You can get it back in camera and in focus. You get really good bend on the knee there. Let me go that high, that far. If you move this piece, you go pretty far back. His feet can do the A on both sides. You can go up this far, but you cannot go back. It stays like that. So you can get a good range of motion out of this guy, actually, even despite the head is probably the weakest part. Oh, one more bit of articulation. Don't know if it really matters because he's showing it in the dragon mode, but this is also all on ball joints. Like I said, good articulation on this guy. You get him in some just amazing poses for sure. And I'm going to try to do this on camera to dinosaur mode. Now, he's not incredibly difficult, but maybe a little difficult to do over the camera here. So the first thing gonna want to do is go ahead and lift that up. You take the head here and just push it back. Oh, one thing I do want to mention about this whole piece right here. So you can see how this sits in here. And it's supposed to, there's supposed to be a tab right here, and there's a tab right there and a slot there. But when you do that, it unslots everything up here, and it doesn't go in at all. Like, this whole assembly comes undone. You could tab it, because there's tabs here, here, and here to here. So it stays okay without this back flap, but if you tab the back flap in, it just undoes the assembly. So, as I said, for a transformation, I'll go ahead and undo this assembly. And so you have him kind of hanging out like that. Take the chest, move that forward, take the hands off the side, rotate the arms out of this assembly right here. I'll take this little piece, move that up. And you take these two little thingies on the flanks here, open those like that, so you can see how they're open. And this is on a pin. So before we all pin that up, what we're going to do, well, I guess you can do it now. So go ahead and move the arm in, move that like that. Take the arm, kind of like that. Now, if there's this, if you can get the camera in there, there is a slot right there. And so you're going to want to just tab that into that slot. Like that. And then the fist, if I can get this on camera, take the fist and rotate that in. And then go ahead and hide the fist with this little gold piece right there. And then what we could do is go ahead and stick these back up. And as you'll see, there are little slots there, and there's tabs on the inside of these. And that's going to just go up. And you kind of get it around those tabs, and you could kind of push it on, or you could kind of work it on. So that one in there. There. See if that went. Yep, there. And it stays on pretty solid. Go ahead and twist the neck. You got this part done so far. Okay, let's move down to the lower portion. So you'll see back in the back here and here, his crotch does split apart. Pull the legs apart like so. And then this is where it's similar to the original. So you're going to go ahead and there's a tab and a slot. So you get that out of the way. There's a tab right there and a slot right there. So you just go ahead and move that around and tab that in. And that keeps the waist from rotating. So there are slots in here that go to here. This piece, these two slots, slot into the chest here. So what we're going to do is move this piece, this gold piece, like this. So that kind of hides the face right there. And then we're going to take this piece, which is giving me trouble right now. Move that up and try to tab those into the little tab slots on the chest. And it doesn't do well. Like, I could get one side in and then the other side pops out on this one. It doesn't stay flush. I think that's an issue too. Hasbro's been annoying lately with their their tolerances have not been great. This is not an exception to that. And it's just sad because it's otherwise pretty good. So there's now it lines up these little tabs here, the slots in the legs. And you want to go ahead and just get those together on there, on either side. Sometimes it's difficult to find. There we go. Go ahead and take the legs, move them up, move the knees like this. Now on the last part, take the shins and just put it down like that. So you get a kind of, you know, dinosaur, but dragon leg that looks like that. And then same with over here. And you can move them up a little bit so we can stand them up. The tail goes back, head goes down. Those sure those are in. Go ahead and extend the wings. So yeah, he does a pretty good job of looking pretty badass. And I really, really like it. I think it's really good. He does stand up by itself. You don't want to have him stand just on the tail. Overall, he's pretty good. Like, you notice this was coming off. I do have that problem with this side. This side easily unpegs from here. It's not too bad, but this side does not do it. So yours may vary on that. You might get a good one where both of them are fine. But I think he looks good. He looks good. There's not really a whole lot I don't like about it. The head's not sitting out of the back. Got good color on him. He's got good articulation. I think it's really cool. It's a very successful dragon, even with the gappy pieces here, which is honestly annoying. I just can't get that in there all the way. But he does actually have articulation in here, as you saw with the legs. The legs now could go 360 at the round of the hip. He again still has the thigh swivel. Same thing with the feet. That's all the same, but he has arms. So his arm rotation, shoulder here, all the way around. He has bicep swivel, double jointed. Well, it's a single joint, I guess, of the elbow, but it does get the whole range right there. His wrists are pinned and move like that and like this. Like, he's got a good range of motion on this. Same thing with the head that I showed you already, and the wings, so they could flat back like this, so they could open and close. The tail, very cool, all on ball joints as well. So you could get some really good poses out of him. Get that jaw. He looks pretty menacing. Actually, I think he just looks cool. I mean, it's forgivable, the problems, just because of how cool this thing actually really, really looks. I mean, look at that. That's bad. That's awesome. So let's get on to comparisons. All right, and here he is with the original. So for the original, you can see just how kind of wonky this one looks in comparison to the new one. It does have a lot of the gold on it. The chest actually is entirely different on this. So if you can see that chest piece there with the little like spark containers, whatever that is. And one thing it doesn't have a purple one, and it doesn't have a Predacon logo in it, but at least it's there. It is orange, like the rest of the plastic, probably just want to sprue. I could deal with some of the color changes. The purple shows up on the head, where this is red and purple. I wish this had chrome, but man, I guess beggars can't be choosers. Transmetal should have chrome in my opinion, but he does have the purple down the line. So the purple's there, along with the purple, but it's on chrome. So, I mean, even the heads, if I get the heads in camera, are very similar to each other. This one has black, where this one has gold. I like the gold a little bit more than the black, and I didn't think about that until I just actually got these two together. No blue shows up on this, like the blue shows up on the wings here. One thing I did forget to mention about articulation is these can move. I don't know why. They don't really do anything. But let's go ahead and look at the back. So look at these two, how the back of them look together. And they're actually really oddly similar. I mean, you have the same spikes right there with like a little piece in the middle that's supposed to kind of like this. That's for the wings. You got the tail with the gold. Only the purple shows up. I like this one. It fits together a little better. Head's in the same spot. Only this one you can see. So they did a lot, actually. I think on a whole, it does an excellent homage to both the cartoon and the actual original toy, which, you know, of course, it doesn't have the gimmicks, like I said before, like it doesn't have the, you know, the moving neck. Whoops, I broke that. But, you know, you get the idea, like the moving neck, and all those pieces. It doesn't also have the third mode either, where this one has the wheels, where this has those sculpture work there, but nothing under it. But I think they did a good job with it. I really, really do like this. And here he is with the previous Kingdom Megatron. Kind of get an idea there. They're comparable in size. We really just need that Transmetal Megatron to go in between these guys. And lastly, let's just go ahead and put that flame weapon in him so you can see him shooting out that flames. With that, let's go to final thoughts. All right, so finally, I would say I recommend him. I like this guy. I think he looks really, really cool, kind of in both modes. He's not without his problems, though. His, you know, like that leg keeps popping out. Yours may vary. Some of the pieces don't fit super well together. Nothing that's really breaks the figure, but it is sort of annoying when you're fiddling with it to have things pop off or these other things. That's something I don't like, and I wish they could fix their tolerance problem. It's not a problem with the design. It's a problem with the engineering at the factory where they test the tolerances. It's not quite right, and it hasn't been. So I do hope that they fix that. Otherwise, though, it's really good. I like it better than the original, I would say, which I didn't think I would ever say that. I definitely like it better than the original, and I think it's an excellent homage to the character itself. This one looks really good. It looks imposing on a shelf. It looks just great. So anyway, I appreciate you guys listening and watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I'll talk to you guys in the next review.